Welcome back. In this lesson, we are diving into one of the core concepts of React, which is state management. We're going to be understanding how to manage states, as this is crucial to building interactive and dynamic user interfaces. Now, what is state? So, basically, state represents the dynamic part of our application that can change over time. For example, in a counter app now, the current count is stored in a state. So we can use that to track what count we have currently. Now, React provides special functions that we can use in our app. They are called hooks. We'll be using the useState hook to manage state in our app. Before hooks exist, state was only available in class components. So let's see how to manage state in our app using the useState hook. Now let's open our project back again, and we're running it with npm run start. And as you can see, hello world here. If we open in the browser localhost 3000, you'll be seeing hello world. So for us to use state, the first thing we'll have to do is to create the state like this. Now let's say the name of our state will be count. So we'll have set count equals to use state. And as you can see, we imported useState at the top from React. So it's important to import it. So now we have just created state, and the name of our state is count, and we have the set count here, which we can use to update the state of count. For now, we set our count in default number of 0. So we can use that state on our view here, though if we save this now, you will not see anything because we are not rendering it. But we can say in a paragraph, count is, and we'll put inside curly braces the name of our state, which is count. If we save that now, we'll be able to see count is 0. And if I make count to be 14 and I save that, if we come back to the screen, we'll be able to see count is 14. So this is our state. Now let's say we want to have a button that can control our state and maybe increment it. Now we'll have a button here and we'll just say increment. Now we'll be using an onClick event, which we have not covered in this lecture, but just follow along and we'll deal with it later. I'll just use it to demonstrate how we can update our states, and this is how we'll do that. And if I save this and we go back here, if we click on increment, you can see that our state is being updated here. So what I did here was that whenever we click this button, it triggers a function that sets the state to whatever the state currently is and adds 1 to it. So in that way, we are updating the state whenever we click the button. Though if I refresh the browser here, it will refresh back to the initial state that I set. But when we begin to click the increment button, it will begin to add 1 to the state. Now, whenever state is updated or changes in a React component, React will re-render that component to reflect the change on the UI, just as is happening here. Now, while building our apps, we would come across situations that we need to manage state for larger parts of our app, maybe managing state for different components at the same time, and not just one component. And using useState for such wouldn't be the best solution. Then we can use other hooks like useContext or useReducers, or use an external library like Redux or Zustand.